Hello, welcome to the Man Cave. This is my first video ever, so it's going to be raw and it's going to be pretty neat. So this is pretty much me going through whatever setups I have, what I use with them. I've got a couple of different ones ranging from relatively cheap to one very, very high end. Spinning and casting, and I'll go through what they are, rod, reel, how I use them, how I can interchange between them. Excuse my mess, I'm in the process of cleaning. New year, new me, stuff like that. Without further ado, I'm going to bring out the first little guy here. So this was my original, very first spinning setup. This guy here, Drop Shot, is what's on there right now. But this is my favorite Defender. This is my lunker, or this is my my actual lunkers edition. 7.3. A lot of my stuff is going to be in between 7 foot and 7'6". I'm tall, so I like to have that extra length up top. For my height, I like to cast a country mile. So this guy's 7.3, medium heavy. Like I said, I use drop shots on it, Ned rigs on it. Even small little jigs, stuff like that, I use with that as well. Paired with it is the Daiwa Fuego. This guy was my very first spinning reel that I actually legit, whenever I got into bass fishing. I've been in bass fishing for about 3 years, so I've had a YouTube channel, but I've never really made any video because I wanted to be 100% informative about what I'm going to do, how I fish stuff like that before I go ahead and get involved with the world of YouTube. So, Daiwa Fuego, this guy here, it's a great reel. This is the 4000, so it's got a bigger spool size on it. I got 10-pound fluoro on it, or 10-pound fluoro, what am I talking about? This is 8-pound fluoro. I usually go 8-pound fluoro, 6-pound on very light stuff. I don't really get any lower or higher than that, considering, these guys, once you throw it out, it'll kind of come off that spool. So I kind of like to keep it inside that spool at all times. But yeah, 7.3, medium heavy, Daiwa Fuego. Like I said, drop shots, Ned rigs, light jigs, finesse tactics, weightless Senkos, cool. Nico rigs, so on and so forth, wacky. I've even gotten into what's known as a chicken rig, which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, this guy, this is my first spinning reel. So, and I've used it, obviously, if you look right here, I don't know if you can see it, I'm missing an eyelet. Don't ask me. I think I took this up to Colorado and went trout fishing with it. I ended up putting a rod sock on it, and it was the mesh. Ended up getting that eyelet stuck in the mesh. Got mad, yanked it, and bye-bye eyelet. But it still works really well, and I use it every time I go fish. So there's that first one. So now I'm going to get into, let's see, this guy. Okay, so first casting setup, this guy here, Curado DC, made by Shimano. Great reel, it's got the DC digital control chip. This is a 7:4 gear ratio. I didn't get, every casting setup I have is either going to be 6, 7, 8. I like a faster reel. I don't really like having that slow kind of reel, like your crankbait reel, stuff like that. I would rather have something high gear and slow down than have to have a low gear and try and speed up and not do it. Great. I've got 15-pound fluoro on this guy. I'm a huge fluorocarbon guy until the summer when you can throw top water, stuff like that. I've been experimenting with it. I got a nice 6 cents crankbait on there, just slow rolling it on there. Not really the right setup for it, but I give it a try anyways because I like to, do some very nonchalant stuff. Paired up with it is a 7, I think this is a 7.3, another 7.3. 7.3 Dobyns Fury. And this guy's the mag heavy, so this is going to be for your frogs, your pitching, flipping, swim bait, stuff like that. It's got that fast action tip on there, that little twiddle. Yeah, so 7.3, like I said, pretty much my staple. And this thing is great. When you throw it out there, I mean, I could throw this crankbait a country mile with it. You got that nice little bzzz noise. It's pretty cool. It helps with the drag. You know, it helps brakes keep from backlashing, stuff like that. And it's great. I mean, I usually use this guy with braid on there, heavy braid. This is what I'm using for my frogs. This is what I'm using whenever I have a straight shank hook and I have to snell knot. Just kind of flipping, pitching it out, getting underneath all that vegetation, and then just really cranking them up out of that vegetation. I really like this. I haven't caught very many on this. It's more of a newer setup that I have, but I'm very excited to be throwing this guy here in the future. Nice. It's got a cork little piece on it. I really like the split. I don't like that full cork. Gives me a space to set my, the palm of my hand on it, bring it up. I mean, even when I'm palming it, I've only got so much left, you know what I mean? But yeah, so there's that one. What's next? We'll go with my, don't fall, no. Okay, we're good. We're good. It's only fishing gear, man. It's only expensive. This one here, this one's actually my newest little setup that I have. So the reel, obviously, it's a Shimano Stratic, C14 Plus. Great spinning reel. It's excellent. I've got some 8-pound fluorocarbons, cheaper fluorocarbon, but it's all right. Another 4,000 spool size. So bigger spool size, lots of line. I hate having to re-spool all the time, so I just gear it down. It's excellent, man. I mean, it's a great little setup. I used to have another spinning rod before it broke first day I was using it, but I mean, it's great. Like smooth, very sensitive. I mean, and it can really drag those nicer fish up with more finesse tactics, which is great. The rod, St. Croix Triumph, once again, like I said, longer. This one's a 7.5 medium, so this is going to be something more along the lines of technique-specific stuff, very finesse. Right now I've got it on a net. I got a Ned rig tied onto it right now, so this is going to be, what is this, an 1/8 ounce? No, this is an 1/8 ounce Woo tungsten Ned head paired with a Guggen Baits. I don't know if you hear that. Rattling net. Like I said, this is very technique specific. I really wanted something that I can just have just for that Ned rig or that wacky rig. Something that I can just tie on, leave it on, and not have to make crazy changes throughout the whole entire trip. Like I said, this one, however, full cork handle, which is fine. I honestly have only fished this thing once. I got it for Christmas, and I've only used it once. Haven't been to the lake very often since then, considering cold weather, fish don't bite. I'm not willing to get on crazy cold weather just yet, so that's why it's been sitting in the garage for so long. Like I said, it's a St. Croix Triumph. Excellent rod. It's very sensitive on the tip. Very sensitive. I mean, if you look, I mean, this guy is super sensitive, man. I mean, I was dragging this thing through grass, this Ned rig through a little bit of grass at one point whenever I was fishing it the last couple weeks, and I mean, I could just feel it. And then you would have to shake it, bring it up, and then it would just drop back down, and you could feel when this very small 1/8 ounce tungsten Ned head would hit the ground, you would feel it on that rod tip. It's so cool. But I can't wait to fish this more. I know that this is going to be more of a thing whenever I'm throwing in the dog days of summer when it's stupid hot here in Texas, and I'm able to kind of just small profile, slow it down, let it sit, kind of hop it a little bit, and let it lie there. So I can't wait to use this, and hopefully I'll be able to get some kind of little actual fishing videos of me using this gear. I mean, but I've had this thing like literally 2 weeks. put that down without breaking everything. My next one is one that's really my multi-purpose type of reel. This is going to be my St. Croix Mojo Bass. This guy is a 7-1, so shorter than what I'm used to. I usually take this out whenever I go kayak fishing. I have a small little sit-in kayak, so it's kind of harder to throw those 7.3, 7.6s out there, you know, when you're sitting inside a kayak all like egged out. But this guy's a 7-1 medium heavy. It's got a fast action. A lot of my stuff has fast action tips. And it's great because, you know, you can really feel those bites. At the moment, I've got a shaky head on this guy. Actually, it's one of those. It's actually messed up right there. But shaky head is on it at the moment. Let me get this thing off here and I'll show you exactly what I'm working with, if I can, without hooking myself. There we go. So, little shaky head action. I was using this guy just to kind of see, you know, how it sat, stuff like that. It's excellent. It's got the two little prongs on there, if you can see that. Boom, right there. And that pretty much just helps it keep standing up straight and not fall over or fall backwards. So that way you get that nice worm just wiggling about, entices the fish. But it's an excellent rod. Like I said, I use this as a multi-purpose. So, I mean, I'll throw a shaky head on it. I'll throw a 1/4 ounce Texas rig on it. I'll throw weightless Senkos on it. I've actually thrown and caught fish with a little Nico rig on this setup. Super, super sensitive. It's excellent. Whenever I first got this rod, I was throwing actually a Texas rig with a big old 10-inch worm on it. And you can feel just the doo-doo-doo-doo whenever that fish has got it in its mouth. And it surprised me completely, which is actually why it's put me on to St. Croix rods so much that I've got, you know, 2 of them already. The reel, this guy is going to be just your regular standard Curado HG. HG is going to be for that high gear. Actually, you know what? No, this is not HG. I actually got this reel. I got one for my birthday 2 years ago, and it was the HG. Well, it happened to be on the opposite side. It'd have to be for a left-handed reel. I'm a left-handed person, but I fish the conventional style. I like to have my dominant hand on the backbone so that way I can fight it a little better. I went to Bass Pro, changed it out. This is the 200 XG, so the extra high gear. Excellent little model. I love this thing. This is an 8.5 gear ratio, high speed. Like I said, I would rather slow it down with a high gear than bring it, you know, trying to outreel something with a low gear. This has got 10-inch fluoro on it. Like I said, I'll throw Texas rigs, shaky heads, weightless Senkos. I have thrown, what else? I've thrown Tokyo rigs on this thing. I've thrown drop shots on this thing, believe it or not. It's crazy. I've thrown Nikos. What else have I thrown on this? I've thrown small, like bigger Ned rigs, like 6 ounce, all the way up to 3 ounce little Ned rigs just to kind of bring it down. Jerk baits, I've thrown jerk baits on this thing a lot. Like I said, the split cork, I love that stuff. And it actually fits in my hand very well, and it's actually very, very light, so that way I don't kill my wrist while I'm trying to fish. Obviously, if you know, jerk bait fish, you throw it out and boom, 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 and so you're really putting a lot of pressure on that wrist. So with it being a little lighter, I mean, it helps your wrists out a whole lot. So yeah, this guy here, I mean, this is one of my go-tos if I have stuff like, you know, set up on other rods. I can really just take the pick of the litter out of what I'm going to throw next and just throw it on this rod, and it'll perform. So excellent little 7-foot little rod, medium heavy, fast action. I love this thing. Now we're going to get to my favorite setup, pun intended. So this guy here, so this is my favorite Emperor. This guy is my first thing I pick up whenever I go fish. The absolute first thing. It's a 7.6, 7.5. This is a medium heavy, fast action. I like the fast actions. Medium heavy is really what I lean towards. Sometimes I'll get a heavy, sometimes I'll get a medium. But this guy is excellent. The aesthetics on this thing are epic. You could be out in the middle of the sun and bluebird skies and it looks like the rod blank changes colors. I mean, obviously you can kind of see it on the camera now, just that shine to it, and it's so cool in the sun. Made by Favorite, great rod. I love this thing. It's got the split on it. It's not full, which is fine. I'm good with that. It fits excellent in my hand. And you're talking about light, y'all, my goodness gracious. I mean, this thing here, I can put this in my hand, and I can put my Mag Heavy in my hand, and oh my God, the difference. Even whenever I'm checking out, you know, the difference in my St. Croix and my Favorite. So this guy and this guy, I mean, even still, this is so much lighter, and I better stop. I'm gonna be making holes in my ceiling. It's a crazy difference of weight. So I can fish all day with this thing and never get tired with it. What's paired up on it on the reel, this is actually my most expensive reel. I'm not gonna say how much it is. Y'all already know how much it is, but this guy is the Shimano Metanium MGL. I've had this guy for just over a year and a half. This guy is excellent, man. It's the XG, which is the extra high gear, this is an 8.5 gear ratio, so this is another fast one. This is what I'm using a lot of my Texas rigs for, my plastics, my heavier type of stuff. I've thrown 1/4 ounce, 3/8, 5/8, ½ ounce stuff, get it real deep. Ultra sensitive on the tip of this rod. Very good backbone on the brakes and the drag of this reel. It's very compact. The reel, I think, is one of the lightest reels that they make. Very super light. I mean, it's like my go-to for plastics Texas rigs. I usually Texas rig this guy. I don't know why, but I have a 3/16 ounce little jig on here. I don't know why. I think I was just messing around at one point at the leg just to see how far I could throw it. This guy here, if I put a spinnerbait on this and I sling it, I will throw it, y'all. This whole spool comes very close to being at the end of it. And this is my favorite setup. I mean, I pick this thing up. This is the first thing I pick up anytime I go fish. It doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, if there's tornadoes and hurricanes outside, if it's bluebird skies or an overcast, this is going to be the first thing I pick up. Excellent setup. I recommend it. I mean, this is really the only one that I actually invested a lot of money into. The other ones are mid-grade in a sense, because I don't get paid for this stuff. I do it as a hobby. So this thing here, if you're gonna spend some really good money on a setup, I would recommend this setup exclusively to whoever it asks. But there we go, y'all. 5 rods, 5 reels, different techniques. Like I said, some of them are technique specific, some of them are very wide range. Just whatever, I kind of figure out once I get to whatever lake I'm at. I look at the water, the overcast, look at the weather, where the wind's blowing, stuff like that, and then I make my adjustments from there. But yeah, this is my first video, and hopefully you guys will see me a lot more. But until next time, y'all, peace.